I do love living out in the country, but in the springtime we have flies and they are horrible. What can we do? Let's try a new fly trap that I found. Welcome back to another Jeff Reviews for you. And you know, I was thinking there is nothing more annoying than those pesky flies that bother you in the spring, summer, and fall. In this video, we are going to look at a product that will reduce the number of flies that are bothering you. You know what, enough talk, let's get right into this review. Here's our outdoor fly trap. Of course, you can see this is by the company Rescue, and this really just hangs up from someplace outside and tries to draw the flies there. I will say that this retailed for around $13, and you got 2 outdoor traps. Each trap is supposed to last for about a month. This is the coolest thing down here though. Can you see this? It can catch up to 20,000 flies. Very neat. Let's set this up. First things first, this is very important. We're gonna just cut around this entire circle on a dotted line so we can bring the green part up through the bag. So as you can see, we're just cutting around on the dotted line. We're making sure not to cut any larger than the white circle in the middle, just on this dotted line, and we're gonna discard that piece. Now that that's cut, we're just gonna gently pull this top part, maybe you gotta twist a little bit through the bag. There it comes. There, all the way out. So the inner green part is still in the bag, and now the outside here is on the outside. And now we can actually put something to hang this and add our water. There really isn't anything to latch this into, so don't look for that. It's all about a gravity hold, so just so you're aware of that. And this does stink, so you might not want to do this part inside. And of course, I'm gonna go outside for the rest of this, but just so you know, you will get a foul odor. Inside, you actually have your bait, and the cool thing is you never really have to have any contact with that. So it's in a bag that I guess dissolves in water, and so when you add your water up to the line, it dissolves and draws in your flies. We're gonna get our water, and we're gonna fill our water up into this black line. All right, now that we have some string on, I'm gonna add the water right in here, making sure only to go up to my fill line. It looks like we have just about 2 cups of water in there. Right now I just had this tied with some rope, and I am gonna hang it up on a hook, but I'm probably gonna fortify it with some zip ties as well. You can start seeing the contents dissolve because the bag is already dissolved, but I realize that maybe I'm a little bit low on my water, so I'm gonna add a little more. Now that the bag has been hung up and it's starting to stretch out a little, I'm gonna add some more water just so I have enough product. All right, there you go. I think that's good enough. So I have about 2.5 cups of water in there. And like I said before, you can start to see this contents dissolve. Now we're supposed to just wait and let the flies come here. As you can see, I added a zip tie, and that was just my choice here because I get a lot of wind here, and so I was worried that the rope might break, and I think the zip tie is just a little extra support. I will say after adding the water, it's been about 30 minutes, and this thing is starting to stink even worse than it did before, so just make sure you do not hang out by your fly trap. This has not quite been up here an hour, and there's already a fly inside. It's actually right there climbing up and around. So what happens is they come in through that same spot where we filled the water. They come down the cone and out the bottom, and now they're just stuck in the bag. This just gives you a better angle, and now you can see that fly that's on the inside. The directions do tell us that sometimes you may need to install this in the shade or in the sun, depending on your season. They recommend in the springtime putting it in the sun where it's hot because flies are drawn to the warm, and then fall in the shade. I have it here set on a tree, so it's sort of shady, but this area does get hot. There's definitely a lot of interest. Let's see what happens with this fly. It's crawling around. Is it gonna go down the tube? Let's see. Nope, that one flew away. Looks like our fly trap has become the talk of the town. I see about 8 to 10 large flies inside. Of course, you see one that just landed on. We'll see if that goes in here. But there's a lot of little flies that are in there too. So this clearly works. Oop, I see one going down the tube. Nope, it came back out. Let's see if we can get this one to go down. There it goes. It's going down. Go down, go down, go down. And it's in. Cool, we trapped one. At least we caught it on video. This is actually a week 2 check-in. I couldn't do it last week because I was out of town, and I heard we had a fair amount of wind and some of the water's out of here, but look at this. There are a lot of flies in here. I don't smell the smell anymore, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill this back up with water to see if we can get this going again, but how gross. So, tell me, what are your thoughts of the Rescue outdoor disposable fly trap? Are you thinking about trying one? Have you tried them? Let me know down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. It's been a couple of days since I added more water, and I was really worried this was not going to work, but man, I could definitely smell that odor again that I smelled right from week 1. And as you can see, flies are still attracted to this. There are so many in there, it's gross. But you know what? I have not noticed any flies on my car, so this is pretty cool. Check this out. Have you ever seen something so nasty? I've let our outdoor fly trap sit here for now 2 months for a couple reasons. One, I forgot about it. And two, because every time I came back out after a month, it was still buzzing with flies. We've had a couple of storms lately, and although there was rain, there was a lot of wind. So now the water is pretty much out of this, so we're gonna end this test completely. I will say this is just a mush of flies at the bottom, and it's really gross, so I'm not gonna get into all that. I am gonna show you how I'm gonna close this up, but in my opinion, the Rescue Outdoor Fly Trap is pretty impressive. The company recommends that you really have no interaction with the contents. That's the gross flies, and it's also the bait. And so they just say to close it when you're done. So we're just gonna push this up and latch it back up in there, and it is done. And so we're gonna cut it down and throw it away. As I've been going to cut this down, I wanted to make sure I really hit home the point that you're supposed to click this into place, and it's not just sliding it up, but this actually should physically click so it won't slide back down again. In this video, we were looking at the Rescue Outdoor Disposable Fly Trap. So what did I think of it? First things first, 2 for $13, in my opinion, and that is a great deal. Each fly trap is supposed to last for about a month, although I do think mine lasted a little more than a month, almost to 2 months, and it was still collecting flies. I should say that the setup and install is pretty simple, and only user error you could go wrong. Just snip off that top, pull it, fill it with water, and hang it up, and there you go. I also like how you can seal this right back up when you're done and click it together and throw it away, and your hands don't get nasty and none of that stuff gets all over you. That to me was pretty important. As you saw from this video, it did a great job taking flies away from where I am and drawing it to a trap, and those flies just loved it. And over the course of 1 or 2 months, I had thousands and thousands of flies that were captured by this disposable trap. Couple things to note. First, it does stink, so be prepared for that. Also, you're supposed to keep this far enough away from your front door or the area that you'll be sitting in, just so the flies aren't drawn to you, but they're drawn to the trap. Also, it's important to keep the water level filled. I noticed in my experience, when the water level dropped, the flies sort of stopped coming, and when I filled the water back up, boy, did they just circle right back in and get trapped. The Rescue does have some other types of traps that are not necessarily disposable. Those are things that you can check out, and I'll link those down below. Anyway, that was my full review of the Rescue Outdoor Fly Trap. If this is something that interests you, I'll link this below as well. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day. We go camping at Cape Henlopen every year, and one of the biggest problems are flies, and I had such great success at my house, so I brought this out with me there as well, and I put this fly trap up just 5 days ago, and look at all the flies that were drawn in. This shows you that the product actually works. How cool. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review of the Rescue Outdoor Disposable Fly Trap. Did you see my Landroid mowing the lawn during this video? That's my robotic lawnmower by Works. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link that review video right up here, and I would love it if you would click on this link. And when you do, by the magic of the internet, I'm gonna join you right there. So go ahead, click it. It's safe, I promise.